Assalamualaikum and a good day. My name is Ira Nur Alisha binti Azman and my project is called Everything Will Be Alright. Before I introduce the project, to briefly explain, a visual novel game is as the name may suggest. It is basically a story in the form of a gameplay in which players are able to make different choices which may or may not impact the path or the endings that players may receive. So with that explained, uh, to begin, Everything Will Be Alright is a visual novel game, or for short, VN game. It is published on itch.io, a platform where many kind of games are published on, and it was published around end of January last month. So, the story features a main character who suffers from social anxiety, and the main character is known as Mia. As you can see on the top right corner, this is Mia. And to explain further, the plot focuses on the fears that Mia, who has social anxiety, has to face as she returns to campus all alone. This is because while she is a final semester student, as stated in the story, she has been used to being accompanied to her friend in the past semesters. Therefore, when she suddenly has to live in the residential college in campus all alone without her friends, she is faced with the social anxiety as she has to do things alone from now on. So, players will be experiencing the journey of Mia as she struggles to overcome her social fear. So it is a question on whether Mia will be able to overcome her social anxiety and make new friends, or will she keep on staying hidden from the world's view, so that she won't have to confront any strangers that and make new friends. Moving forward, we have three objectives stated here, in which firstly is to develop a VN game emphasizing social anxiety faced among young adults. Secondly is to employ creative writing and coding skills in developing a VN game, emphasizing social anxiety faced among young adults. And lastly is to produce a VN game that gives the public an insight into the experience of social anxiety faced among young adults. Next on, we have the entrepreneurial opportunities. So initially, I did an interest check on my personal Instagram account in which over 20 people or peers were stated that they are interested to try out the game. However, once it was released on itch.io, the data showed that there had been over 40 downloads. And this shows that since it is double the amount of the initial interest, it shows that the public is actually interested in the VN game itself, despite barely having information about it, about the creator, and about the game itself. So it shows that there is the potential for the game. And based on the feedback survey that I have shared with my peers who tried out the game, 100% respondents agreed that the game has marketability elements. And aside from that, if Everything Will Be Alright is ever marketed, 11 out of 12 people would be interested to purchase it, as stated in the feedback survey. Next on, we have the methodology, in which first I had to do some research and ample preparation before proceeding with the idea. So firstly, for example, I had to make sure whether social anxiety was really the correct term for the condition. And as for the preparation, I had to find a suitable game engine so far for me to code the game itself, as it is my first time coding. And I also had to make sure that I know how to handle the software itself. Secondly, I had to obtain permission from artists and producers because, as you can see, these characters, they are not drawn by me. And um, I simply designed them before I simply designed them on a site where we can make our own original characters before I proceeded to ask permission from the artist whether I can feature their characters, their arts in the VN game. And once the permissions have been obtained, I proceeded to produce the storyline and also gather the key elements, such as gathering the pictures of backgrounds, because the images of the backgrounds used in the VN game are the images that I took on my own. And I'm sorry. And afterwards, once I have gathered all the key elements and so on, I have enough resources. I started the coding process, and once it is over, I have completed all the coding process. I released it on HIO. And some additional information is that no monetary cost was involved while making the project. As for the results and discussion, as stated earlier, the VN game was developed and released on the HIO platform. And around 75% respondents strongly agreed that the game gave useful insight on how social anxiety affects some people, as as received on the feedback survey itself. And another data is that 83.3% of respondents rated their enjoyment to the game with a full scale, which is 5 out of 5. So, with all these feedbacks and comments received on the survey, um, I would say that the game indeed can be further polished and improved. But regardless of everything, the objectives were definitely achieved. So, in conclusion, I would say that the players definitely have some knowledge, or they can relate to having social anxiety based on the feedbacks that they gave. And it is an interesting sight to see. And secondly, um, everything will be alright definitely gained interest from not only peers, but also the public, which are the users on HIO, as the game is accessible to everyone on the platform. And lastly, everything will be alright definitely has the promising potential to appeal in the world of visual novel games. And I would say that I hope this is not the end of the project. And I definitely wish to maybe make improvements to it in the future if I am able to. So hopefully this is not the end of the project. However, for now, for the time being, that is it for everything will be alright. And thank you for having me. I hope you have a good day.